Wow, Errol Spence Jr., Terence Bud Crawford, the first Faceoff, two-city press tour. I just want to share my thoughts on this. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Please be so kind. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified when the latest and greatest in boxing content drops. Typically, especially with this fight, you're going to see much more breakdowns because it is a close fight, so to speak. More to come on that. But today was the first day of the press tour. Errol Spence Jr., Terence Bud Crawford, and you oftentimes see videos about who won the presser, and I don't think that's a real thing. No one has ever gone into a presser and then they won the presser and then subsequently won a fight. But there are always interesting takeaways, interesting notes that we can draw from what we see, what's stated by the combatants, the fighters, what's stated by the trainers, how they kind of compose themselves, present themselves, and then their physical presentation, which is especially notable in this particular upcoming contest. First things first, shout out to Errol Spence Jr., shout out to Terence Bud Crawford. I'm a fan of both of these fighters. I follow their careers very, very closely. Admittedly, kind of from a different perspective. Terence Bud Crawford was, at the point where I started to follow his career, a more established professional. Errol Spence Jr. was an up-and-comer fighting on 8-rounders, destroying human beings. So I kind of arrived at them in different places and spaces. But they're both incredible, notable champions. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and shit talk and say things that are disingenuous that don't really add to the value of the fight. With those things being said, I want to break down the presser. The presser was great. Great from the perspective of professional, well put together. Shout out to Brian Custer. I think he does a phenomenal job with Showtime. He does his thing. So I'll just leave it at that. You don't know what you're going to get from combatants like Errol Spence and Terence Bud Crawford because both of these individuals, while insanely competitive, are fairly reserved and kind of deliberate on how they present themselves. Drawn down, quiet, stick to the facts. Even if they're going to talk a little shit, it's really not over the top. They kind of just say, hey, look, listen, I'm about to body this dude, or he can't keep up, or whatever. They stay more towards boxing and facts versus, insane disrespect or insults or whatever the case may be. My key takeaways from this press conference: both fighters want this fight. I think there was a space in time where you could say Bud Crawford didn't want it, and if you said that Errol Spence didn't want it, then you haven't been following this storyline, this arc, because he chased this fight down fervently. That being Errol Spence, even stalled himself out after Terence Crawford took the David Avanesian fight. But Bud Crawford's here now, so I'm not interested in talking shit about Bud or saying what he did or didn't do because he's here now. And what he stated in the press conference, there was a question from the media gallery who stated, what took so long? And Bud Crawford's response was very appropriate. What does that matter now? We here, you're here, the trainers are here, the camps are here, the fight is happening. Focus on those things. And so I'm not mad at that response at all whatsoever. Terence Bud Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. This fight is the most significant fight in boxing in an extended period of time. There's never been an undisputed 147-pound champion in the four-belt era. We've had many, many significant and great champions at the welterweight division, or even if you go like junior middleweight or whatever the case may be, 147, 154. You've had tremendous champions there. However, Bud Crawford is an in-prime fighter. I'm not going to play little games of age. Like, let's say Errol rolls him, just steamrolls him. I don't want to hear about 35, 36. I don't give a shit about that. Lomachenko just beat Devin Haney, and I don't know. Devin Haney's in his 20s. Lomachenko's in the upper 30s. So I'm not checking for that. Especially if you're a fighter like Bud Crawford, he's going to come in shape. He's going to come prepared. He's going to come ready, willing, and able to put it on the line. He will get himself bodied to get the victory. So when Errol and Bud Crawford talk about the kind of fight that this is, you have to believe them. Even if let's say Errol just kicks Bud's ass. He just beats his ass. All while Bud's getting his ass beat, he's going to be pulling out every trick in the book, every tool in his toolbox to ensure that he can either score a late knockout or hurt Errol in a way that gives him an opportunity to win, and vice versa. Errol can get outclassed, picked apart, this, that, and the third. He's going to continue to try to apply pressure, figure out ways to get to the body, empty that tank, and come out victorious. So I've said my piece on those particulars. I want to go to some of the observables. Errol Spence is in ridiculous shape. Bud Crawford is always in shape. I'm going to key in on Errol for just a moment. I broke this down before. We've chronicled this before. Errol hasn't always been the best decision maker. He's flipped shit around, and he's in shape. He's in ridiculous shape, and he has hella tattoos. Shout out to him. If you've never fought before, this might be foreign to you. And this is not one of those, well, if you didn't fight, you don't know. It's just something you may not know. There was conversations surrounding about the leaked images and videos that Bud Crawford and Errol Spence put out last week, essentially showing their current condition. People went to Errol Spence's page and said, oh, he's fat. He's not really in shape, yada, yada, yada. Errol Spence is a big guy for 47, and he's in pristine shape. The additional weight that he's carrying is strategic in nature. I promise you that. With the addition of a nutritionist and a game plan, Errol Spence Jr.'s size advantage will be notable until this fight is over. Bud Crawford can come in and overcome. I'm not going to discount that. But Errol Spence Jr. will be significantly larger than Terence Bud Crawford, who has grown into his 147-pound frame. One thing I've not put on tape before is this. Go back and look at the weigh-ins for Bud Crawford, Sean Porter. Go back and look at that. Go look at that, the final weigh-ins for the ceremonial weigh-ins for Bud Crawford, Sean Porter. Sean Porter's campaigned at 47 forever, fought as high as 168, I believe, as an amateur. Bud Crawford, 35, 40, 47. Bud Crawford did have to grow into his frame at 47. But by the time he fought Sean Porter, when they were doing the ceremonial weigh-ins, he looked like a little more beefy. He looked bigger than Sean Porter, who got the wide back, the UFO back. But Crawford is coming into this frame. So why that's significant is this. Errol Spence Jr. is going to be bigger than him, but Bud Crawford is going to be at his full strength at 147 pounds. And I still feel like the strength and durability advantage will go to Errol based on being naturally bigger and a skilled fighter. And they both possess this thing within them that says, I don't really give a shit about what you're offering me. I gotta get mine. I gotta do mine. This is one of the very rare fights. Fights for me, it's easy to call. I break them down. You see the videos. If you haven't checked them out, subscribe to the channel. I'm really good at breaking down videos and giving you a probable outcome. This fight does have complexities that makes me, I don't want to say go back and forth, but I have to consider more things than I typically have to. The size advantage for Errol Spence will not be a wasted advantage. It will not be a wasted attribute. Bud Crawford's going to have to contend with the size and strength of Errol Spence in this fight. That's not something that's going to go away. And if he succeeds and does well, then it heightens his success within that fight. You have to understand that. But it's a reality. He has to overcome that. The physical skills, gifts, and attributes that Bud Crawford possess, yeah, they're a challenge. But I don't consider them overly unique. The thing that makes Bud Crawford special is his ability to say, I don't really give a shit. I got to get you out of here. And if I hurt you, it's going to be a problem. That's what makes Bud Crawford unique. Errol Spence Jr., the same shit. It's time to start being honest. And as I break this fight down more, check them out. I have 4 or 5 breakdowns from last year. I have 3 breakdowns already this year since the fight's been announced. Check those out. We have to start getting into the nuance of what we see here when we break down these fighters and the potential outcome. Now, shout out to Derek James. Shout out to Bomac. They said their piece. I think they added value. I think that's great. You see the image that I have here. Look at Errol Spence Jr. Look at Terence Bud Crawford. This is how you know this fight won't go the distance. This is how you know the significance of this bout. This is old school, like Errol said, and he's right. This is not social media hype. This is two prime welterweights. My opinion, the Glamour division. Shout out to 35 and shout out to 40 because they got real fucking killers in those divisions. However, Errol Spence Jr., the truth, Terence Bud Crawford, TBC, Omaha's very own. Look at this image, straight like that. Look at this image right now. Look at Errol's eyes. Look at Bud's eyes. Zero fear, no back down. I'm not going to do a video and talk about who won a press conference. What I will do a video about is this. Look at their eyes, though. Straight like that. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified of the latest and greatest. This is a ridiculous fight. My adrenaline, how I felt about this fight before, it's increased. Because what's significant is two fighters trying to kind of keep it together, be professional, and then a little bit of that stuff leaks out. A little bit of that, hey, come on, don't do what you're going to do. Don't say that. Don't do that. A little bit of it leaks out, and we get to see that. It is a gift. Shout out to Bud Crawford. He said, we're all going to get a gift. It is a gift. Even this interaction right here is a gift. Man, let's go. Stop playing around. This is your boy JG. We out.